The Jar of Life, a story about time management. Once upon a time, a professor stood before his class with a large empty glass jar. He filled the jar to the top with large rocks. Holding up the jar, he asked the students, "Is the jar full?" The students nodded, saying, "Yes, it's full." The professor smiled and then picked up a container of small pebbles. He poured the pebbles into the jar, shaking it slightly. The pebbles settled into the spaces between the rocks. Again, he asked, "Now, is the jar full?" The students smiled and agreed, "Yes, now it's full." The professor then picked up a bag of sand and poured it into the jar. The sand filled all the remaining gaps between the rocks and pebbles. Once more, he asked, "Is the jar full now?" The students laughed and replied, "Yes, now it's really full." Finally, the professor took a cup of coffee and poured it into the jar. The liquid seeped into the sand, filling up the very last empty spaces. The students were amused and curious. The lesson. The professor explained, "This jar represents your life. The large rocks are the most important things. Your family, health, and personal goals. Even if everything else were lost, your life would still be full if you have these. The pebbles represent less important things, like your job, house, or car. The sand represents the small stuff, emails, errands, and trivial tasks. If you fill the jar with sand first, there won't be room for the rocks or pebbles." He continued, "If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, you'll never have space for what truly matters. Focus on the rocks, your priorities. The rest will fit in." A student raised their hand and asked, "What about the coffee?" The professor smiled and said, "I'm glad you asked. The coffee reminds us that no matter how busy life seems, there's always time to share a cup of coffee with a friend or loved one." Moral of the story: prioritize what's most important in your life. Don't let the small, insignificant tasks take over. Always make time for relationships and meaningful moments. Manage your time wisely, and your life will feel balanced and fulfilling. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more inspiring and educational content. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos.